Hey guys, it's Jovi and welcome back to my channel. Now this is the second installment of our 10-part dating series, okay? Y'all asked for it and it's here. I am so excited. Now before we begin, please don't forget to like this video. Like it now, like it later, and watch all the videos in this series. Hold a boot down, okay? Like this video now, like it later, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're Jovi Beauty. We're Jovi Beauty on all platforms, so please follow, please support. We love you over here. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you know whenever we drop a new video. Now, part 2 of our dating series, I guess you could tell from the title, is 10 reasons why African American women should date Africans. Now, I know a lot of people are going to have some issues with it, some issues about what I'm going to say, but this video actually started another route, and the way it was going, I was just like, listen, I want to focus on the goals. So all my ladies who normally follow me already know we're going to focus on the goals. And please, I'm going to give y'all some top 10 reasons why you should be dating, why you should probably want to date an African man. Now, don't get me wrong. If you could find a black American who was raised right and has his shit together and has a lot of these qualities, do you, boo. But I'm just going to say, I find that dating an African may be a little better for what we want out of life, especially if you want to be in a amazing relationship and you want a man who's going to provide for you. African men are kind of a go. But before I get into all of that, let's do this. Now, the first reason I say it's a good idea to date African men is, in my opinion, they were raised to be providers. Okay, and for the most part don't even comprehend what the gold digging thing is. In the black community, especially in America, we have a real thing with trying to insult and belittle women for not wanting to pay half the bills, to want to get themselves in a good position. And I believe, and I have noticed from my experience, from a lot of women that I know who are actually married and with African men, they don't really have to worry about things. These men take care of them. They were raised to provide for a woman. It's not like in America where a lot of our men are sometimes raised to think a woman is supposed to provide for them, raised to think a woman is supposed to pay half of the rent. And their culture, African culture, says that the man is the head of the household and he is going to provide for you. He's going to work 10 jobs, even if it's driving a freaking cab, 24 hours a day to make sure that his wife and his family are taken care of. To me, that is a go, and that is so much better than coming home, busting your ass, working a 9 to 5, and see some lazy dude sitting on your couch. My opinion. Take it or leave it. Number 2, the second reason that I think is a great idea to get with and marry African men is they allow us to rest in our feminine. Too many times we black women, black women of the Caribbean, Afro-Latinas, black Americans, period, we have to be so masculine. We have to take on the roles of the man, and that is a lot. To be the strong black woman is a lot. People ask all the time. I made a video about Eve a little while ago, and I get a lot of comments talking about, so why Eve so soft and whatever now? It's not necessarily that she's with a white man that makes her be able to rest in her feminine. It's that she's in a position where she is allowed to rest in her feminine because she has somebody who, again, like one, can provide for her and does provide for her, will bust his ass to provide for her, but 2, allows her to not have to be the man in a relationship, not have to stroke out and got a heart attack from the world being tossed on her shoulders. He will allow you to calm and relax and say what you want, because I know a lot of people are going to be on here talking about, but how they do their women, how these black American men do you? How do these black American men do you? Okay? We are a prize, and you have to understand that. And when you understand you are the prize, you'll be winning. The third reason that I think dating African men should be a goal for black American, African American, Caribbean women is because they are chivalrous. Okay? When is the last time a black American man paid the bill without it being an issue? Okay? An African man will be offended if you pulled your wallet out. He will open the door for you. He will make sure everything is great for you as long as you're resting in your feminine, okay? And not trying to be the man. He will be all of those things for you. You can be the princess that you always wanted to be. Wouldn't it be so amazing to be able to just sit down and not have to worry because this man is just going to be so chivalrous. He's just going to make sure his princess is taken care of. That, to me, is beautiful. The fourth reason why I think black American women should date African men is because education is very important to African men. Sometimes in black America, education is not valued among our men. We are the most educated people in this country, us as black women. But our men, not so much. You know, an African man, okay, he may not be the most swaggy-licious, but honestly, when it comes to having an education, when it comes to your children getting accepted, not only accepted into these top tier schools and or Ivy League schools, but having a man who can actually pay for the schools, pushing your kids to greatness. Like, we have to think about the generational wealth and development of our family and our offsprings. And I would rather have a man who is focused on education than a man who is focused on getting them new Jordans. My fifth reason for saying black women should get with African men is that they're more gentle and less disrespectful than African American men. I will say that I think sometimes, especially in our culture, we see them as others sometimes and we try to belittle them, and that may turn on you. You know, if you belittling this man and you see him as an other and he's busting his ass to take care of you and you talking to him all sideways, ways you wouldn't even talk to an African American man, okay? And you doing all this crazy stuff, he probably gonna leave you. He's probably not gonna be so chivalrous to you because he's human. Okay, we need to remember that, you know, but I think that for the most part, African men have been very chivalrous. There's hardly any disrespect I've seen come from them when they have an American woman counterpart, a black woman counterpart. Now, if their wife is Caucasian, I don't know. I can't attest to that. I don't know. But when they are married to a black American or Caribbean American, all of those women that I know, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I know a lot of women who are married to African men, and those women are happy. Okay? Those women live very nice lives, and their men do not disrespect them. Ever. Sometimes, majority of the times, those women have to check themselves from disrespecting their man because they understand that it's something in our culture that makes us belittle our men sometimes, and that's just not going to be a go when you're dating an African man. That's why I'm saying the being allowed to rest in your feminine, all of these things will just create such a harmonious situation that you ain't got time to be cussing no motherfucker out. Number 6 says, if he is in America, listen to this. If he is in America, if a man who is, y'all know how difficult it is to come over here through immigration. That means that he is either comes from a very well-off family, Well, you kind of have to come from a well-off family to be able to come here anyway, from the Caribbean, from, you know, you have to have money to be able to come to America. They don't just let anybody in America, and they daggone sure don't let poor people in America. Okay, so he has to come from money, number one. So that means he has money, probably has property and stuff back home. Okay, and he also has a hard-working mentality, because even with the money, they have to go through a lot. It's a lot to be able to come here. So that means he has endurance, he has drive, he is a hard worker. He brought himself from the bottom all the way up, okay? Y'all be worried about Pookie, who is at the bottom, blame the white man for staying at the bottom, and refuse to get up when these African men will fucking rise in any situation. I'm sorry, but I want a man, whether he's African, Black, American, whatever, who when things hit the fan, he doesn't fold, he stands, okay? And again, for him to be able to come over here in the first place, he went through so much, and he followed through. He did everything that he was supposed to do. He dealt with all the insanity he had to deal with, but trust me, it's a lot harder for Africans to come over here than Europeans. Y'all already know that. So for him to be here, that shit means a lot, and you need to not see it him as in the same equivalent as Pookie and Ray Ray, because no. 7. I think I touched on this before, but I want to be a little bit more specific. You are not the head of the household, okay? You cannot belittle these men, all right? Your life will be harmonious and great, but we have to check ourselves and make sure that we aren't speaking to them like we will be speaking to Ray Sean that was born wherever in America. Okay, Ray Sean, who is used to disrespect and disrespecting women, because when a man is not disrespecting you and you disrespect him, he won't leave you. There have been incidents of men and a lot of women out here who say, you know, African men just want their papers and they'll leave you. That's not true, because I know a lot of African men who got their papers and are still married to these women, have children, are in love. Like, have you ever thought that maybe y'all got together, maybe you were horrible and disgusting, and maybe he decided after he got his papers to divorce you? Okay, Pookie and Ray Ray get a lot of shit out of you, and you did nothing. You give them mad respect, and they do nothing for you. So understand, if you're gonna go this route, you have to understand that you gotta allow them to be the head of the household. We have to rest in our feminine. We should let go of the angry Black woman and just live a harmonious life, because it's possible in these situations. Don't think negative things all the time, because honestly, you know, you were talking about he just wanted to get his papers, but like, how much of his money did you spend? How much of work did he do breaking his back to take care of you? Did Pookie or Ray Ray do any of that? No, they did not. This is, again, a reason, but a reason for a Black woman to be with an African man, but also some advice, okay? You should know your own culture. You can know his, that would be dope as well, but you should know your own culture. You should love your Blackness. You cannot be with an African man, being a Black woman, and not understand who you are as a person, who you are as a people, your connection to Africa. Now, you don't have to necessarily take a DNA test and do all of that, but you really should not be ignorant into who you are as a person. You should love that, to be able to know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, or you don't know where you came from, you'll never know who you are. No, the saying is if you don't know where you came from, you'll never know where you're going. That's the saying. And they like someone who is cultured. Again, you might not know everything but be interested. Be interested in learning, you know, what you can about this man's culture, about your own culture, you know, knowing where your grandparents came from, knowing that Black history did not start at slavery, knowing about what's going on in the world. It makes you stand out and look like not the stereotype of the Black American ignorant, stupid, ghetto, all of that. Know something and you could have a really good life. Now, number 9, this is going to be fast because I think it should be, I think I kind of touched on this before. Okay, you should not look at him as an other, because when we look at people as others, we treat them badly. Like Caucasian people look at black people as others. That's why we have a situation we have, not only in this country but in this world. Okay, when you look at this man and you're dating a man and you're marrying him, you know, I heard a story once of this girl who was with an African dude, and you know, he's doing so much for her, buying her cars and doing a whole bunch of shit, right? And she keeps belittling him, she keeps talking down to him, she keeps whatever. And she was on the phone once with her mother, and her mother was like disgusted by it. Her mother told her, like, why are you speaking to him like this? You know, because in my head, her mother knew that she wouldn't speak to Troy, Ray Ray, or Pookie like that. Not at all. Troy, Ray Ray, or Pookie will slap you in your mouth. So you wouldn't speak to him like that. But for some reason, you see this African man based off of, I guess, our American, the American ideology that we have as less than. You know, and when you see him as less than, it allows you to think you can disrespect him, treat him like shit, you know, spend up all his money, don't, you know, just treat him horribly, and then be offended after you do all of that when he divorces you. Like, oh, he only used me for, he didn't love, no, you treated him like trash and he took you out to the garbage. That's it. And being with a man who believes in family is very important for a plethora of reasons, including, you know, you might needing to be able to take care of your family and it not be a him and a hawing, and it might not be all that extra drama because you might have to take care of your mother. You may have to take care of your nieces or nephews because something may have happened to your sister or something like that. You know, you also have to think that someone who believes in family and takes care of family is not going to just try to destroy his family or family for shits and giggles. You know, no one is going to disrespect your moms. You know, he's not going to call your mother out of her name. It's not going to be those type of issues in your life. And for me, having a nice, calm life without all the drama, where I can be a princess, where I can be allowed to rest in my feminine, where I can have a man that is like, shit go hard, he's gonna work hard, he's gonna work even harder and harder to make sure he make things happen. A man that has drive and is able to accomplish things, and a man who, you know, is going to like cherish the ground I freaking work on is goals for me. And now if that is goals for you, boo, you may want to think about dating an African man, especially your women who always talk about, you know, these black American men ain't this and this and this and this and this. Listen, I still believe that black American men are amazing. Don't let this video make it sound like I don't think so, okay? But we need to open up. There are black men all over this world, okay? For the taking. So take them. And as always, I hope you live your life like it's golden, because there's no other way to live it.